Hello and welcome. It's 310 to Left, presented by New England Ford Dealers and F-Series, America's best-selling truck for 49 years and the official truck of the Boston Red Sox. Tom, Caron, and Lenny DiNardo. For those of you who just started watching baseball the last couple of weeks, today is what's known as an off day. It's when there's actually no Red Sox game on the schedule. Lenny, we haven't had one of these in a while.
No, we haven't. I think both you and I slept in a little bit. It's been quite some time, and you've been especially busy. I want to congratulate you and Brock Holt, two Jimmy Fund captains. Outstanding job this past series, and well done to everybody involved.
Yeah, everybody involved in the team effort. Brock and I have been co-chairman of the Jimmy Fund now for 2 years. The work of Garrett Whitlock, the team captain, Peyton Tolley, who is clearly being groomed to be part of that role down the road, began his press conference yesterday after the game, after his outing. And before I say anything, I want to talk about the Jimmy Fund. It means a lot to him, obviously, but it's the men and women behind the scenes. It's everybody, as you know, at Nesson over the years, puts together such an amazing job. You were doing radio, but you were still coming in to do shifts. So congratulations to all of us. Over $7 million, $7.13 million, shattering the old record by more than $1.5 million. The Iverson family coming in late with a $1 million donation that put it over the top. The Hales with that $1 million match on day one, really jump-starting the whole thing. And all the thousands of gifts that people gave, $5, $10, $100, $1,000, whatever they could give, they did. The spirit of the thing is amazing, Lenny. And yeah, a little bit of a breather after that for us. And for the Red Sox, 16 games without a day off. You got to go back to August 3rd, last time they've had an off day. They finished 8-8, absolutely fine. This began when they were on another heater on that second long winning streak of the season. Then they hit the road and they lose 7 out of 9, and the sky is falling. They come back. They take 2 out of 3 from a Diamondbacks team very much in the playoff race over the National League. All things considered, they were able to tread water through the first half of the dog days, and when you've got a 5.5 game lead in the wild card, that's good enough.
Yeah, you'll take it. This team has been kind of, polarizing in regards to they're either really, really good, and then they go out there, they perform really, really bad. We saw that recently, and you're kind of thinking and scratching your head, who is this team? What are they going to be able to do? And they kind of get back on track. This Arizona Diamondbacks club is in the mix. They're right outside the wild card in the National League looking in. And this Red Sox club, despite what everybody might think, they play well against good teams above 500, teams that are contending. They've been getting it done. And if you're going to be able to get to the playoffs and go the distance, those are the teams you're going to have to go out there and compete against. But, there are questions, though, with Garrett Whitlock and Slayton going down and the offense kind of being up and down. You're relying on a bunch of grinders out there like Mickey Gasper and Sogard and Monasterio, but they stepped up. You saw this last series was the series of the grinder. Mickey Gasper, 3 home runs in 3 games. I did not have that on my bingo card, but you love the guy, you love the player, the way he goes out there and picks up his teammates when your Sedans and your Contrerases and your Abreu's aren't necessarily getting those home runs and putting together those at-bats. You've got guys stepping up, and that's another quality that good teams have. You've got guys that go in there and pick up other guys throughout games and throughout series.
Yeah, it's going to make the roster decisions that much tougher as we start talking about Trevor Story and IKF and Roman Anthony all on the way back. Curtis Mead, the forgotten Red Sox player, who is going to have his cast off in a couple of weeks, and we'll see where that all goes from there. The old days of the 40-man roster. Jim Rice yesterday said, when do they get to the 40-man roster? I was like, yeah, well, they haven't since 2022. So you only add one guy, really. You get to add 2, but one of them will be a pitcher because you need that depth in the bullpen. So they've got roster decisions coming back. Tough loss yesterday. They lose in 10. It would have been the Mickey Gasper game, the 3-run home run late that tied the game up. His 3rd home run in 3 days, as you said. Instead, they lose it. Giovanni Moran just couldn't throw a strike there in the 10th inning, walked 3 consecutive batters. You ran out of bullpen arms yesterday, and that's what the dog days are all about, right? Everyone has been stretched to the max. And sometimes you just got to hold your breath and hope you can get that done quickly, but ran out of arms yesterday, Lenny.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate. Peyton Tolley went out there past couple outings. He's been outstanding, but this one, the the Diamondbacks fouled off about 30% of his pitches thrown, and that's atypical for a guy like him. And I've noticed when that fastball leaks down in the bottom of the zone, they're able to get to it. He really wants to use it at the top. The cutter and the breaking balls, down. But if you're going to be successful with his stuff, 96, 99, you got to use that top rung of the ladder in order to get that swing and miss. And he had trouble with 2 strikes yesterday as well. 2 strike counts. He had a little bit of a hard time putting them away. And it's one of those days where the bullpen needed to go out there and step up. And Moran, I felt for the guy. I've been out there when you just feel like, you know what? I always say this to my young pitchers when I'm teaching them. If I tell you don't think of pink elephants, what's the first thing that pops into your mind? Pink elephants. And yesterday he's on the mound. He's thinking, don't throw a ball here. Don't throw a ball. I could read his emotions on the mound, and it just snowballed from there. It's one of those things that happens to everybody. Terrible timing for it because you felt like you had that game in hand with that offense. You go out and score 6 runs. You got to win that ball game.
Yeah, he was going to wear it. I mean, I don't know if it happens to everybody. Walking 3 in a row doesn't happen to everybody at the major league level. But that was, because then if I threw a strike and you get the double play end of the inning, when you got in that situation, I think the second batter of the 3 straight walks, he had a first pitch changeup, just trying to find some pitch that he could get over the plate, and he just couldn't. Now the day off, like we said, they need it. They've used up that bullpen quite a bit. You've got both Whitlock and Slayton on the IL. Good news on that front. The MRIs were negative as they thought. It's just inflammation. So, this is what a 27-3 stretch buys you, Lenny. It buys you the ability to say we were 8-8 in those 16 games, and that is fine. You lost a half game in the standings over the course of those 16 games. I don't know if you've looked below you at all. 7 teams within 2 games. One of them will make it to the playoffs. That's what you don't want to be part of in the American League right now. And that's what Toronto was in, right? We're up in Toronto. They won 3 out of 4, but they're still on the outside looking in right now because they were a game out of the wild card. It is a mess. The Red Sox, with that stretch, could not only solidify their spot in the wild card race, but we talked about Whitlock and Slayton, Lenny. It allows them to say, you know what, shut it down. We need you in September and October. We don't need you in August.
Yeah, that's 100% correct. And you've got guys like Miller, and you saw Weissert, Moran. These guys have to step up. Guerrero continues to go out there and pitch in these high leverage roles. Outstanding job throwing strikes. We saw 102, 103. Chapman's going to be able to get some rest as well, which is huge for them. That back into the bullpen, you're going to need them. But, it's one of those things where the Red Sox were in that spot looking. We were at the early parts of the season. We're thinking, man, they've got to jump 7 teams. Don't even look at the games. You got to jump 7 teams. You're playing a lot of these teams coming up. And, that stretch that they went through, that historic stretch, really put them in a good spot. And, it allows not only the bullpen to go out there and rest, but guys like Willson Contreras, who's battling a hamstring. Him and a bunch of nobody's 100% healthy right now. So you have to realize that they have to pick their spots where, you don't necessarily have to be Pete Rose running down the line every time.
Willson Contreras didn't run down the line. He wasn't Pete Rose, and he heard more boos, and he played it back with the fans, gave it a little cup on the ear coming in. Here's what he said afterwards. Here's Willson Contreras after that 10-inning loss on Wednesday.
Yeah, and nothing was inviting me to dinner. I was like, no. Nah, I'm good with that. Huh?
Where were you guys gonna go?
I don't know. He was just inviting me to a dinner. He didn't name any specific place or restaurant. So.
You talked a bit lately about your leg and trying to manage that, protect that. Did it surprise you when there were some boos on that ground out there?
I don't know. Man. It was part of the game. I think I'm not gonna get hurt running a ground ball. And if you're a real fan and you know baseball, there's no case for me to hustle out of the box. I'm not 100%. We never are, but I'm taking care of my leg. If you have to run, I'll push a little bit. If I don't, my manager have my back, and I talked to him, and he gave me the permission just to do whatever it takes to take care of my legs, and that's it.
So, this is the play you were talking about here, or that he was just talking about, the ground ball to third base. When you look at the replay, by the way, he was running out of the box made sure the third baseman made the play. Then he slowed down to protect the hamstring. Then the ear, and I don't know if we're going to show it, but he was back out yelling at that fan. And I think that's what, over the last out after that, is when he continued to yell at the fan, engage back and forth. Are you worried about this at all, Lenny?
No, you can tell by his post-game interview, he's letting it get past him. He's kind of jokingly say, he wanted to take me out to dinner. It is what it is. But, I've been on that side where the overwhelming fan in baseball, and especially Red Sox fans, are dialed in. They're smart. But there's two types of fans that aren't necessarily on that level. It's the one that comes to the game just to have his pops and yell at the fans. Those guys need therapy. Let's play it simple. Just go out there. And the other one's the type that, feels like they have to police the sanctity of the game. If you're not running out every ground ball, then you shouldn't be out there, blah, blah, blah. It's not the case. At this point in the season, you look at that ground ball. If that ball gets past the first baseman, guess what? Willson Contreras is going to be on first base. If he makes a good throw, 100% of the time he's going to be out. He's trying to take care of himself, and if you appreciate what Contreras has brought to the field this season and the team guide, the first base defense, the home run potential, you got to allow him to go out there and know his body and know when he's going to go out there and sprint and when he doesn't have to. This is a smart play. You don't have to go out there and run 110% every time because you know your body. That left hamstring's where he stretches out on first base.
I want to clear that. I just want to make it clear what you're saying. You're saying you don't have to go out 100%. Sure. You're saying Willson Contreras with a hamstring injury doesn't. You're not saying players don't have to do that every time, right? In general?
I'm saying Willson Contreras, when he has a hamstring injury and knows his body and has permission from his manager, does not need to go out there and run hard to first base on certain plays. Right. And on other plays, you'll see him go out there when he knows he can make it, maybe stretch a double. He knows when his body can go out there and deal with that grind.
Well, when Chad Epperson sent him the other day, you saw him out at home, but giving it everything he had to come around. And that's something the manager knows. Chad Tracy knows. They've been in communication with that. This weekend, the big story is going to be Rafael Devers, so let's get to that. It is our game plan for success presented by Mass Mutual. Scan to learn more about their Grand Slam giveaway. Enter to see the official rules at massmutual.com/Red Sox. You see the numbers for Devers, 10th most home runs in Red Sox history, the most ever by a player aged 28 or younger. What do you think the reaction from fans is going to be Friday night at Fenway Park?
Yeah, a generational player. You see the numbers right there, but I feel like it's going to be mixed. I feel like it's definitely going to be mixed. I feel like probably more boos than cheers. There's going to be fans out there that appreciate Rafael Devers. There's a lot of jerseys. But at the end of the day, I feel like a lot of people with the note that it ended on being very, very sour are going to go out there and let him know that they weren't happy with how it ended up. And the fact that he's played 89 games at first base this year for the Giants isn't going to sit well with a lot of people. So we'll see what happens. There's going to be definitely a big mix.
Yeah, well, we'll have to put that in now as a fair or foul segment in our pregame show Friday. I think it's going to be mostly cheers. Because I think I could be totally wrong on this. I just think the way it played down at the time, now it's changed a bit since. His reputation hasn't gotten better, that's for sure. But I felt like when it happened, most fans thought the team had handled it poorly. From not sort of handling the whole addition of Bregman with him to there's no doubt he didn't help himself. But I feel like at this point, you're looking at the overall numbers he had in Boston. I'm curious how he handles it. Will he talk to the media? Will he have a press conference? We know he doesn't do that sometimes. Sometimes he just doesn't want to talk. I'm more curious in how Rafi Devers handles the return. He's going to be fired up to perform at the plate. I'd be pitching him very carefully if I'm Sonny Gray Friday night.
Yeah, absolutely. And, it made national headlines recently. I don't know how recent it was, but remember when he didn't want to come off first base? They had a pinch runner and he started waving him off too. Everybody in the world saw that, and that's not going to help his case either. That's just another thing piling on that reputation you were just talking about before.
Yeah, it got worse since he left Boston. There's no doubt about that. No Marcelo Meyer. He was hoping to get back in time, so it'd be a two-prong reunion, but this will all be about Devers, the Meyer reunion. That'll wait for another time. All right, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back and dive into the last couple of days at Fenway Park, the WEEI Nest Jimmy Fund Radio Telethon, breaking records, smashing records, over $7 million raised thanks to your generosity, and great moments from current and former players. We're going to hear all of that and more as we continue. It's 3:10 to left, presented by New England Ford dealers. Lenny and I are back. Stay with us. 3:10 to left is presented by your New England Ford dealers, who've been taking everyone out to the ball game at Fenway Park for decades. Catch Ford next time you're at Fenway, including in the Ford Clubhouse, a full-service bar perfect for bringing your lineup together and for recording our live edition of 3:10 to left. It's all brought to you by your New England Ford dealers and F-Series, America's best-selling trucks and the official truck of the Boston Red Sox. Welcome back to 3:10 to the left, presented by New England Ford dealers. Tom Caron with you here. And Monday and Tuesday, the 24th annual WEEI Nest Jimmy Fund Radio Telethon was held on both TV and radio. We've been doing it year after year. We've raised more than $80 million in the fight against cancer, fueling the work at the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute. 2 years ago, former Sox All-Star Brock Holt and I were named co-chairman of the Jimmy Fund. We've learned so much more about the life-saving work being done and the need for the critical funds to keep the research going, to provide care for those with financial insecurity, and to help us get closer to a world without cancer. You responded in such an amazing way. $7.13 million raised, shattering the old mark by over $1.5 million. And a big part of it is the support of current and former Red Sox. They dropped by throughout the telethon to help spread the word. Jaron Duran and Adley Rutschman, two of the stars that came by and sat down with our own Jemai Webster and Julian McWilliams to talk about the season and to talk about the telethon, to talk about life in Boston. So let's hear it now on 3:10 to the left, presented by your New England Ford dealers.
I'll start with you, Jaron, because obviously you've been in the organization. This is the only organization you've known. You've been a part of this. You've seen it grow in many ways. You've seen your teammate Garrett Whitlock step into this captaincy. But how have you been impacted by the Jimmy Fund Radio Telethon and the great work that we do over these 48 hours?
Honestly, this is some of the most amazing work I get to see. I mean, seeing these kids and seeing the great impact that we have on them is awesome. I know that when we get to see them in Fort Myers, it's always awesome to see those kids and see them smiling and getting some fresh air. So it always puts a smile on my face. Yeah, incredible. And then so, Adley, you actually were here last year when it was going on with the Orioles for those 2 days. Not understanding what's going on, or I shouldn't assume that, I guess. What is your knowledge about it? And then in that experience last year, being on the outside of it, what was that like?
Yeah, I mean, just kind of from what I've heard about it, the great work that you guys do, giving back, providing families and kids with this opportunity, it's awesome to see. And it just really goes so far beyond the game of baseball and giving back. So really cool to be able to see it and be on this side of things.
And Jaron, like, you're a guy who obviously signs autographs for a ton of fans, ton of kids. What drove you to be here for today? And obviously, people battling, cancer, and what's sort of like your cause for wanting to be a part of it?
For me, it's when I sign those autographs, it's like I'm not just meeting a fan. Like, there's so many stories I've heard of people, and that's honestly one of my favorite things. Not signing, it's getting to know people's stories. So getting to be able to do this and be able to sit down with people and hear their stories is amazing, because there's just always something else behind the scenes that not everybody sees. Everybody sees the upfront thing, but it's the getting to know somebody and knowing what's behind the curtains is probably the most amazing thing.
Yeah. And so the interesting thing about this, regardless of who comes in here, whether it's a 4-year-old kid or somebody who's in their 80s, we've seen that cancer is indiscriminatory, right? It affects us all in many ways, whether it's a family member or somebody close. What kind of impact has it had on your life, Adley, whether it's a family member or a loved one that you've seen kind of go through this battle?
Yeah, I mean, you see it a lot. it's tough to be a part of it when it's someone close to you, and just understanding the difficult process that it is and how mentally and physically taxing it is on everyone. It's tough. So I mean, any way that we can support, it's it all means something, and you never know how you're going to impact someone else's day, and I think that's the biggest thing. Like, we get to play a game for fun, but just having moments like this to have really a perspective break from baseball and be able to just try and do what we can is really important.
You guys have had this amazing year. Like, it has been truly, you saved the summer for a lot of Boston fans. Like, it was such a cool run that you guys went on. Like, when you see like a crowd so into a team like you guys are right now with that big streak, and now you're continuing to play good baseball, like, how does that feel, watching it go from the beginning of the season where things just didn't seem to be clicking to all of a sudden tarps off, everyone's got their shirts off, and everyone's going crazy? Like, how does that feel, that rung of emotions from what you were and what you've become?
No, I think that was unbelievable. I think this team has the most loyal fans than any other team, because even when we're losing, they're still supporting us. Of course, there's sometimes there's song of the boo, but I think that's because they care. They care the team, so they don't like to lose. As I think as anybody like to lose, but I think we got the most loyal fans in baseball.
So Willson, it was just announced that Roman Anthony is going to be coming up to, I think, Portland. He starts tomorrow. Yeah. What's the feeling amongst the team that Roman's coming back?
We didn't know that. I didn't know that.
There you go. Oh, really?
Being honest.
There you go.
I mean, I think Roman is a big piece for the lineup, and he's a huge bat for sure. Hopefully, he's back to being healthy and ready to go. Because at this time, games are going to get tougher, especially getting close to the playoffs time and all this stuff. It's like we cannot waste any more time. Hopefully, he's ready to go, full healthy, and he's ready to come back to the lineup for sure.
What was it like going from, oh man, I don't know if things are going to pop, to all of a sudden just being what you were like, playing like the best team in baseball, all in like a span of a couple months?
The thing is, in there in the clubhouse, we were waiting for the moment that we had the faith that our time was going to come, and then we just keep grinding every day and in there and keep the team tight, and then we had a great run.
Can I ask you about Chad Tracy? Like, did he help at all by any chance?
Oh yeah, for sure. We know Tracy in spring. Well, this is my first season with the Red Sox. I knew him in spring training. Mm-hmm. So I knew him before there being an interim manager. So he's a nice guy. So he helped him a lot because I'm an infielder. He working with Flores, with the bench coach, and like he helped me in the spring training. Like he come to me and like talking to me, Yeah. And like my situation in the spring training was like if I gonna make the team or not. So I made the team, and he was the AAA manager at that moment. And like we have a different conversation in spring training, but like I'm glad he's here, and like obviously he helped us in this momentum. How he said, like keep the clubhouse tight, and like for me it's a marathon. These are 162 games. You can have a good back break, but you have to be tight, and like you have to like if you have a bad day or good day, you have to like forget that about it and like be ready for the next one.
Is that? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just saying, Sadan, you seem like the most optimistic person. You never doubted, right? I bet you never had a doubt.
No, since the beginning of the year, when they interviewed me, and I told the reporters, we have to keep playing ball, and you guys gonna see where we're gonna be in August, end of September is in the fight, and that's where we are right now. I've never doubted this team, and I really have faith in this group and what we can accomplish. I trust everyone in there in that clubhouse, and yeah, man, and I never doubt it.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm curious, Andrew, your previous 3 years were in Milwaukee. Now you're in Boston, a little different, kind of fandom here, right? And I'm just curious how it's been adjusting to, the way fans are here versus where you were in Milwaukee. How's that experience been for you?
I feel like I adjust so quick. I'm the type of person, like, I live my life day by day. And, like, obviously it was, like, a little weird when I get to spring training, but, like, I started, like, 1 week, I was fine. Like, I feel like I'm, like, be, like, a social teammate. I want to, like, talking to everybody. It doesn't matter if you're, like, speaking English or speaking in Spanish. I try to, like, be a good teammate. And I feel like I was, like, adjusting, like, so quick. And also, I love these fans. This fan base is awesome. I love how they wait for you outside the clubhouse. That's awesome. That's something I don't see in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
But so for me, it's like so unique. Like Boston Red Sox fans are so unique, and like they go everywhere. So we went to Pittsburgh the last couple of days, and like there's more chance for us and for the Pirates. That's something like I appreciate a lot.
In terms of what it's meant to you over the years and how you've sort of grown into the role, could you talk about that?
Yeah, I mean it's changed a lot. I mean, growing is probably exactly the best way to put it. When I first took this over, I told TC the other day, I was like, I didn't have any kids, anything like that. And it was really cool to be able to go there and meet the patients and interact and everything and kind of do all the fundraising, everything like that. But now that I am a father and I have kids, it's completely changed my perspective on everything that actually goes on at Dana-Farber and the Jimmy Fund and everything. And so now I have that perspective of like, man, like this could be my kid one day. And so like just being able to like have that perspective and just see the patients, see the joy, see the parents, talk to them, the doctors and everything, it completely changes the way you view things. And so it's been a great growth process.
Hey, Payne, for you, like the impact that this has, right? I know he's the captain, he's done it for 4 years, but for you, what do you see as the most important as a player? Because I was there, I told Adam that in the minors they introduced us to all this, but for you, what do you see the impact is being a player and giving back to these families?
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible. Being able to, whatever it may be, whether this week or in the off season, going and seeing the kids, it's special. There's nothing quite like it, and to be a part of it, like you were saying, like last year, like I want to do something like that. It's cool. It's something to look forward to, and I think it gives you, like he was saying, kind of a special perspective as a player. You start, you kind of look at these 2 days, and it takes you away from baseball for a second. You understand, like, this. It's so much more to life than this game, and it is really special.
Cancer has affected us all. I've lost. Many others have lost as well. I know you have lost too. What does it mean to you to be a part of this and to join that fight and be a part of such a big team in the battle against cancer?
Yeah, I mean, it's something that I always have looked forward to. Being so closely affected by it, I understand whenever we walk into these places, it's more than just, the child, but it's also their families as well being affected as well. So, just being able to put a smile on somebody's face, however it may be. But it's, just growing up with it, being a part of it, and something that I've been thinking about is like it takes a whole community to support just one person. And so to have something, have a week like this, it means a lot to me because I think about all the people that have helped out my family through our battle with cancer. I say my mom's battle with cancer, and it's so much more, and affects so many more people than just that one person.
And Garrett, to see Peyton, who's participating in his first Jimmy Fund Radio Telethon, and other guys as well, and to see them step up to the plate, that must make you proud, right? I know you're not a dad or a coach or anything, but you've been here a long time now, longest tenured, and to see the new guys step up, that must make you feel good.
It's really special. I mean, and I just want to let everyone know, like, everyone gets to see the Peyton Tolley that's the fun, energetic, like, super laughing guy, but you want to talk about one of the kindest hearts I've ever seen, it's this guy.
Oh, boy.
And I mean, genuinely, like, y'all have no idea what this guy does when the cameras aren't on, everything like that. He genuinely has the kindest heart. He came with me to an elementary school that was a 45, maybe an hour drive for him, that on a day where, like, he had, like, there was no reason for him to like have to go there, but he was like, hey man, like I want to come, I want to be a part of this. And then just the joy that like these kids had and seeing him, it's unbelievable. So it's just like, I love that y'all get to see the fun, energetic, laughable, like charismatic guy that he is, but he genuinely has one of the greatest hearts I've ever seen. And so being able to see that and then get to know him and then get to see like his heart for this community and like what he's doing, it's really special. Like you said, it's a really like proud moment. I know I'm not his dad and everything. Like I have
We
met
joke
his
and
dad.
say that he is. I'm preparing him for like that 12, 13-year-old range. So.
Yeah, but I mean it's super special, and I mean like I said, like I got in the car after that day and just watching how he interacted with these kids and everything, and I was just like, man, like it's really neat to be able to see someone with that kind of heart and also just the joy that he has in the game as well.
What's your thoughts of just the fan base here and playing in Boston?
Yeah, I think once we knew we were going to turn it around, we felt like the fans were going to rally behind us. And game like last night where it's just electric, it's sold out every single night. And it was early in the season, too, when we weren't playing too well. So, credit to the fans for that. But definitely don't want to start off slow here in this city, but we were where we're at, and we were able to kind of turn it around and in a much better spot now.
In a season of some great things that have happened, there is one dumb storyline that I'm obsessed with, and that is that Chad Tracy still has the interim tag on his name. Do you believe that should be gone from Chad Tracy's title?
I mean, I think everybody would love it for it to be just like away from where it is now. I mean, I think he's done a great job with us. He knows what we need to do. He knows how our bodies feel consistently, I feel like. And so for him to adjust schedules and just being able to talk to us, slow everybody down is huge. I mean, so I think it would be an honor for him just to take that away and just give him that like manager title. But I mean, he's done a great job. I love him. I think I can speak for everybody in that clubhouse that he's done a wonderful job of handling the situation and hasn't made it too big, and he's just helping us just like really bring us together and just win.
Back here on 310 to Left, looking back at the best moments of the 24th annual WEEI Ness and Jimmy Fund Radio Telethon, where we shattered the all-time record, raising more than $7.13 million in support of the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute. The Jimmy Fund is the oldest ongoing relationship between a professional team and a charity in America. Ted Williams is where it all began, and now so many current players supporting it, as you've seen. Many former players between Ted Williams and the 2026 team jumping in to help out as well. Here's a look at some of the best guests who dropped by, beginning with the Rocket, Roger Clemens. The legacy and the culture of the Red Sox, when you first got here, when did you start hearing about the Jimmy Fund, and when did you realize how important this was to everybody here?
Well, I was all smiles listening to Ted right there. That was so cool that you guys pulled that up. So, yeah, mine started with Mrs. Yockey. Mrs. Yockey, when I first got drafted, talked to me about the Jimmy Fund, and we were doing, little bits and pieces way back 1984 when I came off the campus of the University of Texas. And she got me involved with them right out of the gate. And it's been just a joy to do stuff for the Jimmy Fund ever since. So, Tom, you've seen it. We've done when we've, been on and done this many times, and just love doing it. I love talking to the kids and the parents and hearing their stories. And, they're the real heroes, those parents that go over there and deal with that day in and day out and are able to get up every morning and put one foot in front of the other while they're battling and doing their things. We have a children's hospital at home in Houston, but I can tell you, Nesson reaches all the way down into Houston, Texas. I've got friends and family, extended friends that make donations, and they get behind it also. So I tip my cap to everyone that does this year in and year out.
I love that. And coming on, thank you so much for coming on. And we just had the head coach of the Boston Bruins come on as well, the athletes who take time of their busy day just to remind people why this is so important. But something I wanted to ask you as someone who obviously had such an impact on so many different communities, not just sports fans, but or baseball fans rather, but sports fans in general. What does it mean to you when you go into, or when you used to go as a player into a hospital and you see these kids and, you know, they're just so excited to see you, or maybe just play, and that, you know, I hear athletes say all the time, they have more of an impact on me than I have on them. Do you remember those experiences and those visits?
You're 100% right. They have a bigger impact on you, especially when you hear their stories. It's similar to when I go to the military hospitals and I'm a little out of my element and I'm a little nervous, but you ask them, hey, tell me what's going on. Tell me how you got this. Tell me how many surgeries. And the kids are just resilient. They battle. And just to see the look on their face, you know, I had to go in my uniform a few times because they didn't think I was the Rocket a few times when I went over. But, man, the kids are the best. I mean, they just, you know, like I said, my 4 boys, I've got 5 grandkids. And it's just, you know, just to hear their stories and how they absorb everything that you do, and you get to come, you know, you get to do this because, you know, being obviously visible when you played, or being an athlete playing for the Red Sox, whatever it might be, it's just special. So we love doing it. You know, that's what my foundation does. We deal with at-risk children, and you know, I was one of them, you know, battling and you know, just watch them, you know, how resilient they are, and to get them better and get them out of there. And then they can tell their story right down the line.
Why was it important for you to call in today? Thank you again.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure, you know, obviously to be associated with, you know, the Red Sox, the history with the Jimmy Fund, and how important it is to step up. And, you know, on the telethon, and being able to reach out to many people who can contribute. You know, obviously these kids are going through something that is a challenging feat, and, you know, their spirit is always up. And, you know, when I played, just like every other ball player, we try to help and reach out to as many, you know, as many children as possible who are going through this devastating situation.
John, can you take me back to the beginning? Do you remember when you first got involved with the Jimmy Fund, and sort of what was the catalyst for that? And by the way, I mean, you continue to do it years later, right? So maybe speak to how it kind of kept you involved, and you know, we lean on you every time for this, and you come through for us. What is it about the Jimmy Fund personally? Were there any stories that touched you, or was there anything that sort of kept you involved all these years?
Well, it's a no-brainer. Obviously, being part of the Red Sox family, you know, you want to make a difference. You want to change lives if you can. We have a great platform, being a Red Sox, you know, Red Sox baseball team that is able to touch so many families. And, you know, as a player, you want to do whatever you can to help. You know, any situation you can with the children. And, you know, we go back to, you know, I remember Tim Wakefield coming in as a rookie in 95, I believe, and look at the impact that he had over the years. And to see him do so many wonderful things, we wanted to do that as ball players, and we wanted to be able to touch the lives of many children. So it's a no-brainer. Yeah, I mean, there were many families, many kids that we visited at Dana-Farber, and we wanted to do it. It was something that, you know, we have stress as baseball players to try to perform, but, you know, when we go there, it just takes, it alleviates all the stress. It really, you know, takes our mind off things and puts it on the lives of the children.
Your insights, even as a player, I remember, always insightful. You give so great answers, and now it's kind of translated into your role as an analyst now with us over here at NESN. But the Jimmy Fund Radio Telethon is not something that you're a stranger to. Talk to us about when you first became introduced to it during your time as a Red Sox.
Yeah, and I think it actually it goes beyond that for me, and even earlier than that. When I was young, playing in Connecticut, I played in the Jimmy Fund tournament in youth baseball when I was 10, 11, 12 years old. So
wow.
I've been at least kind of around it and fortunate enough to understand the impact that the Jimmy Fund has since I was, a young kid playing baseball, and then obviously coming into Boston and what is the longest kind of standing tradition or partnership between a sports franchise and a philanthropic organization. It just kind of becomes part of who you are and what the city is and what the Red Sox represent.
Matt, I know you also do community work sort of on your own as well outside of a Jimmy Fund. Talk to us about that too, because, not only have you been involved with this, but I know you've done a lot of your own work in the community as well.
Yeah, that's kind of, when I was at UConn, that was one of the things that was preached, was the ability to give back to the community. And obviously when you get up to Boston, again, it's not even just a Jimmy Fund with Boston. They're involved in so many different organizations. One of the things that I had done, and admittedly haven't done it in a few years, but one thing that I did for a number of years was, after the tragedy in Sandy Hook, I ended up hosting a free baseball clinic for a number of years for the kids down here. We actually just got involved in some youth sports where we're trying to kind of, in a different venture, trying to create a more equal and kind of equal playing field, if you will. But it's when you're fortunate enough to get into a position where you have some eyeballs on you and you've got a platform to speak, it's all about finding the avenue in which kind of speaks to you most. I mean, how could I forget? Even my wife and I hosted a fundraiser for the home base program, which when we were in Boston, which is near and dear to our hearts. So it's just kind of doing your part.
How much the Red Sox step up to the plate, particularly the players, visiting with the patients, spending time. What did it mean to you to do that when you were here?
Oh, it meant so much, guys. I mean, the Red Sox do tremendous work in the community. They have for so many years. And I just remember my time with the Red Sox. And even now, I mean, there's so many moments where we went to the hospitals, we put smiles on not just kids, but people's faces, and you just enjoy the big smiles. And then you hear stories like Big Papi just talked about, where kids become cancer free. And we like to think if we can bring joy to people, it brings happiness to their lives, to their families' lives. But when they become cancer free and they get to live a normal life, I mean, I think that's the most important thing that we strive for. And I know so many athletes, they go out of their way and they do so much stuff and they want to do more, but like fantastic work by the Red Sox and the Jimmy Fund throughout the years. It's been incredible.
Hey, what's up, Johnny? How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing great, Manny. Hey,
I like the bun, man. The bun looks great, man. I love it.
Because it's like crazy with down.
Oh, yeah. There's the Johnny we know and love, baby.
Yeah, man. So it's absolutely crazy. So I've got to put it up. And yeah, I like this Johnny a lot better than, what happened afterwards.
Well, in 2004, man, if you let the hair down, you had the beard, I mean, it would be like going back in time.
Oh, man. It feels great. A lot of people remember those moments. I mean, where were you when the Red Sox won the World Series? And it's just a tremendous accomplishment by a great organization. What a great year 2004 was. And it's always fun when the Red Sox are winning, and hopefully they can get back to another long winning streak and get back in the playoffs this year.
So much of this is, for me, emotional, because going through a difficult situation in 2014 where we unfortunately lost our child to a rare genetic disease. But seeing the support, I think that's the biggest thing from the parents aspect of it, and understanding you're not alone in this situation or in this fight. And I apologize about it. You never know when it's going to hit you, when the emotions are going to hit you, and how difficult being in a club that no parent wants to be in, which is the loss of a child. So the work that you guys are doing and how important it is for people to hear the stories that they're hearing from the patients that are coming on air, and understanding that every dollar matters. Every ounce of support that can be given is crucial to help everybody in this fight. And Michael, you said it. We're all, everybody, nobody is immune to this. This is something that we can't be indifferent about.
And Rich, when the emotion kicked in and you started talking, I want to ask you, was it a son or a daughter?
That was our son, Brooks.
Right. And I was about to ask you his name. And how old was he?
We had him for 2 months. 2 months he was here. So yeah, and going through that journey, the sleepless nights, just and I talk about him often, and it's therapeutic in a way to continue his legacy. But for the parents that are going through this fight right now, it's really trying to provide quality of life for the kids. And when you can see that quality of life comes in all different shapes and sizes, it's for the parents to be able to have that interaction with their kids on a daily basis, and for the kids to be kids. They just want to be kids. And that's, to me, that's the one thing why this is happening, why the Jimmy Fund has been so successful, is to help kids get back to doing the things that they love to do. Just laugh and play.
310 to Left is presented by your New England Ford dealers, who've been taking everyone out to the ball game at Fenway Park for decades. Catch Ford next time you're at Fenway, including in the Ford Clubhouse, a full-service bar perfect for bringing your lineup together and for recording our live edition of 310 to Left. It's all brought to you by your New England Ford dealers and F-Series, America's best-selling trucks and the official truck of the Boston Red Sox. All right, Roman Anthony working his way back. What a first game back from the rehab it was for him, as he hit a home run, a 2-for-2 night, a couple of walks. That one heading out towards Hearts of Pine Country, by the way, clearing everything at Hadlock Field. Lenny, this is an exciting sign here, because the 2 walks, the home run, clearly he is seeing the ball, he's tracking the ball, and his timing looks good.
TC, we saw him hit the pitch right there, but did he literally hit the pitch?
Yes. Well done. Yes, about 10 yards beyond the net. So it would have been, a penalty kick had you kicked it from there. But this is great. I mean, this is a guy who missed so much time you wouldn't expect immediate results at whatever the level.
Yeah, it just seemed like yesterday he was swinging a fungo bat 25 times down at the Florida complex, and then it started happening quickly. He's on the trajectory machine. And now he's on a rehab, and he didn't take long. 2-for-2 home run, single, couple walks. We're seeing pitches as well. This is a great sign, great news for the Red Sox. They could use that offensive bat. Masataka Yoshida down. And this is the different ball player. We've seen what he can do. Last season, when they shipped Devers out, it was the emergence of Roman Anthony. And I tell you what, it was huge impact on this Red Sox club. They could use him right now. So, yeah, very, very positive seeing him come back relatively soon.
A little different this year, obviously. Didn't have quite the same numbers going on. All indications are they want to put him right back in the leadoff spot. Are you surprised that they're going to drop him up top if they do?
Well, he's shown the ability to go out there and take pitches, put together good at-bats, and if you get some power from him, too, that's a plus. So you got to go out and get reps, though, and you don't have a lot of time for rehab stints if you want him to produce at the big league level. So we've seen it with Rutschman. Coming back from the IL, it takes some time, a couple series to go out there and get your timing right. They want Anthony in the lineup to get that timing down. Maybe you have a couple overs in there mixed in, but when the time comes where they really need him getting close to playoffs, they want his timing down. They want him to be seeing baseballs and driving them.
Trevor Story, a couple of hits last night in Worcester. Isaiah Connor Falefa is rehabbing. This could be a completely different lineup come the end of September.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing because you talk about timing, you talk about guys coming off the IL. Monasterio, Sogar, these are guys that are hitting the ball, hitting the cover off the ball, continuing to put together good at-bats. So you don't want to mess too much with this lineup. Mona's got to be in the lineup. So Story comes back as shortstop. You're probably going to be platooning Sogar, Monasterio, depending on the arm coming off the mound. But you hate to see these guys sitting on the bench with what they've been doing offensively. It's been impressive.
That's a
for
conversation for another day. I can't see Trevor Story and Curtis Mead sitting on the bench a whole lot if they're both healthy at the end of September. So we will see. Lenny, good stuff as always. We appreciate it. A busy week, and we get back to it tomorrow with the first of 3 against the San Francisco Giants. For Lenny DiNardo, everyone here at Ness, and I'm Tom Caron. Thanks for checking out 310 to Left, presented by your New England Ford dealers and F-Series, America's best-selling truck for 49 years, the official truck of the Red Sox. We'll see you next time.